Welcome back to our attendees. Our next speaker, Mr. Ankit Rajpal, Territory Manager for Oman and Bahrain at Veeam Software. Speaking on today's topic is DR and backup services to support your digital enablement. Over to you, Ankit.
Thank you, Melvin. Good afternoon, guys. I hope you're keeping well and safe. Thank you very much for joining the session this afternoon. As Melvin introduced, my name is Ankit Rajpal. I work for Veeam Software in the capacity of Territory Manager for Oman and Bahrain. The topic of my presentation today is how Veeam-powered backup and DR is enabling digital transformation for the energy sector. So that's what we're going to talk about. All right, so here's an interesting number on the screen, the year 2020. When we talk about 2020, what are the things which come to your mind? Give it a minute, or I don't think you need a minute to think about it. It's quite obvious. For me, it was one of the most memorable year of my career, and I think it's going to be one of the most memorable year of my life. So the few words which come to our mind, of course, pandemic. Pandemic changed our lives. It just completely, made things very unprecedented, challenging, and uncertain. So these are the first few words which come to our mind when we talk about 2020, right? Most of the things which were negative. But as seeming big challenge it also got some upside. So there were some positives to 2020 as well. And that's what I believe the attitude should be. We should always look at the positive side of something as well. Any change, any disruption that happens, of course, there's few negatives, but there are always few positives. So what did we do? What were the positives of 2020? There was a lot of learning, right? We learned a new way of living life. We are still going through that. Most important thing, there was a lot of transforming. And a big credit of that is, a big driver for that is also digital transformation. Now imagine the same pandemic would have happened 100 years back, which actually did happen, the big black plague in 1920. At that point in time, I'm sure things would have been absolutely different. So today, thanks to technology and the digital transformation, our lives, yes, were disrupted, but not in such a big way. We were still able to connect to people. We were still able to grow business. Okay, not for all the industries, but for a few industries. Some industries were badly hit, but a lot of other industries I know have grown like anything. So 2020 was a big driver of digital transformation. And I love this quote by the CEO of Microsoft. My previous presenter was from Microsoft, so I was just thinking that I'm going to quote you guys. So Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, said that we have seen 2 years worth of digital transformation in just 2 months. And this fact is just undeniable, right? Remember those lockdown times? We're still getting lockdowns phase 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But when the first lockdown happened, things were so different. That's when we realized that, the new normal is work from home. Even today in 2021, things haven't changed much. The new normal is work from home. We have to use a lot of tools. We have to use a lot of services, which can enable us to work from anywhere we are. All we need is an internet connection. And at the same time, we want to transform the way we buy. The buying habits of consumers have changed. If we look at Amazon.com, Noon.com, or any of these online suppliers, their business have grown like anything. Right. So 2020 has got its challenges and it's also got its opportunities. Right. Big pressure on digital transformation. So we did a survey and we spoke to some of the CEOs and we asked these CEOs that, what is your number one strategic priority? And as most of the CEOs, they want to have growth. They want to have growth in their top line. They want to have growth in their profitability. Then we asked them, how do you think you can actually bring about this growth? 75% of the CEOs say that digital transformation will be the number one activity to drive top line revenues, right? That's how we're going to actually bring up our revenues. So today, your online presence is the most important thing. If you're not there on digital platform, if your products and solutions cannot be taken online to the customers, if you cannot work from anywhere, you are pretty much out of job. And that's what happened. The people who were affected the most were the industry, the people who were actually not ready for digital transformation. Okay, some industry couldn't do it, but the industry who could do it and were not ready were the ones which were worst affected. So that pressure actually comes down to us as IT people, as IT organization, because now digital transformation drives business. The only way you can do business is with that, right? So that pressure comes down to us as IT people and how we can help you make it happen. We're going to talk about that. But before that, what is stopping you to go full blown on your digital transformation, right? What's coming in your way? Some of the factors which we identified is definitely the lack of IT skills and transformative expertise, right? Finding the right scale in a short span of time, finding the right expertise who can actually turn around the company's operations and make it more digital, take it to a digital route is very difficult. And that's when, you need to have right experts by your side, likes of ODP, likes of Veeam, and like of all the partners in the forum who can help you through these challenges, right? Then a lot of legacy systems which have been there. I talked to a lot of head of IT CIOs, and when I asked them about some of their legacy systems, they have certain systems which are dinosaurs, which are just sitting there and they trouble them all the time. It's difficult to back them up. It's difficult to update them. It's difficult to integrate them with new applications or front ends, and especially for backups. Like if you have legacy backups, it creates a lot of issues for you that consumes a lot of your time. And of course, the most important resources in the world, time and budgets, money. So they are always limited. So how we can use our time better, how we can automate things, how we can reduce our cost are the challenges which we're going to actually help you with. So how do we overcome these important digital transformation challenges, right? So you guys as IT teams need to free yourself from maintaining fragmented legacy systems for data protection, backup, and recovery. Like, as we understand, data protection in DR is not production. It is your losses, or it's when things go wrong, they come into the play. And if you're spending a lot of time just maintaining that, you're not able to focus on the things which are more important, which are higher priority for the organization. So you need to get those things into a more autopilot mode, right? And I talked to a lot of head of ITs and backup admins. Companies have got tons and tons of data sitting in their backups, which is just waiting there for a disaster to happen so they can use it. And how we can help you go with digital transformation is that how to reuse that data for development, for testing, for new app development. So you need to release that trapped data and drive that data to different platforms. Today, that data is sitting on-prem. You can take it to cloud, maybe to give it to a DevOps, maybe take it to Kubernetes, and all that stuff, how you can actually make it happen. Mitigating the risk, reducing IT costs through intelligent automated systems, right? So automation definitely helps you reduce cost and take away the daily challenges from your life and mitigate risk out of your data management. At the same time, provide seamless data security. Data security is very important for sure, definitely your data, for your customers' integrity and your customers' information. And that also drives the brand value, right? So you can completely understand if there's a data breach or a security breach in your organization, how badly it affects the brand of the organization. So these are some of the challenges which we identify, and we help you overcome them. Now, the solution which can actually make it happen, that solution will be the most trusted provider of backup solution that delivers cloud data management. So that's what Veeam does. Veeam delivers the trusted backup and cloud data management. How do we do it? And first, I'm going to talk a little bit more about Veeam as a company, Veeam in numbers, who we are, where do we come from? Well, I did see a lot of known names in the attendee list. So I used to meet you guys in person a lot in Oman, but here we are again on this platform talking about Veeam, who we are, where do we come from? So as a company, Veeam is, I won't say very young. I'm used to saying it's very young, but now we are quite mature. We started our operations in 2006. It was a small startup working from a garage in Ohio with a team of like 10, 15 people, doing some free solutions for VMware and at that point in time. So that's how we started. And that point in time, 2006 was the time, when virtualization was coming into the main space. Virtualization was the in thing. Like today, it's cloud and Kubernetes and all that stuff. Virtualization was the in thing. Now it's quite a norm, right? So that's when Veeam started. In 2008, we launched our first products about 13 years back. And still we were like a small company, 15 people working from a garage. Where we are today, 15 years later, Veeam's come a long, big way, right? So we acquired a 400,000 plus paid customers in that span. If you look at the Fortune 500 companies, the top 500 companies of the world, 82% of them use Veeam in their production data centers. Now that gives you the confidence that this is an enterprise class product, trusted by some of the biggest companies in the world, and can take care of your data, your past need, your legacy data, your present needs, and your future needs as well. Veeam's got presence in about 160 plus countries. We are 4,500 employees, so 15 employees to 4,500 employees in a span of 13 to 15 years is a big achievement. That's definitely something which we are doing right. And last year we did annual bookings of $1 billion plus, which is big numbers for a software company, purely software company, focusing only on backup and recovery and disaster recovery solutions, right? Cloud data management solutions. Now, how we were so successful in such a short span of time, the credit goes to our customers. Like, you guys love us, you guys embrace us, and you talk about us. So there's this industry standard of net promoter score. Veeam scores a whopping 75 net promoter score. What does that mean? That the satisfaction level of customers is 9.1 out of 10. The product features they love is it's amazing. The sales effectiveness, the likeliness to renew. And if you look at the industry average for net promoter score, it's around 21. So we are 3.5 times better than the industry average, which is, again, even higher than Netflix. Netflix was my only resort when the lockdowns were happening. Even working from home, you sometimes get idle time and you go back to Netflix. I love Netflix. But imagine Veeam's got a higher net promoter score than Netflix. So there's something great that we are doing in that our space. So that's about our global customers. Let us see who are our customers in Oman. So this is just the tip of the iceberg. I've just pulled out a few names from every industry. But again, the focus today is energy. So the biggest energy company or oil and gas company in Oman is what? OQ, right? It's consolidation of all the oil and gas companies in Oman, government oil and gas companies in Oman. So OQ, one of our customers. If you look at utilities, we got Oman Power and Water Procurement, Muscat Electricity, and the list just goes on. So these are some of our references in Oman. We probably have about 300 plus customers in Oman, but this is just the tip of the iceberg, one from pretty much every industry. Now, again, whatever we've been doing for such a long time has been definitely recognized by the likes of Gartners, Forresters, and IDCs, the research agencies and all these guys. And this is what they have to talk about Veeam. But a very important matrix by which most of the CIOs always go by, they can close their eyes and make a decision, is the Gartner's Magic Quadrant. So I remember when I joined Veeam in 2015, and I've been selling Veeam since even much longer. When I started selling Veeam was not even there in this graph. When I joined Veeam in 2015, we came somewhere in the visionaries and see where we are today. So last year we made it to the top right corner on the leaders. So undisputed leaders in our space of backup and VR solutions for the modern data center and cloud data management. We hold a global worldwide market share of number 3, which is a very big position, keeping in mind we are still a fairly young company versus our competitors. We hold a number 1 market share across EMEA, that is our territory, which is Europe, Middle East, and Africa. So we have the biggest market share. So yeah, that's something right that we are doing over there. So talking further a little about our concepts, what exactly do we mean by cloud data management, right? How Veeam help you achieve cloud data management. So these are the 5 pillars which help you achieve that. Number 1 and the core and the most basic thing being backup and recovery, right? That's the core job you expect out of a backup job. Intuitive backup, which just works. We got our logo a few years back. We used to have this in our logo, Veeam, it just works. And that was a statement which we got from one of our customers. They said, since the time we've installed or we've embraced Veeam, we've got Veeam in our production data centers, it just works. Like it does what's supposed to do. And it's fully software defined. Like Veeam is a software company. We do all our solutions are fully software driven. We do not do any hardware. So we actually embrace the existing hardware. You have made your investments, and we are completely hardware agnostic. And pretty much we can work with any hardware you provide us. Of course, there are preferences and there are integrations. Some hardwares are better, some are not. But again, the solution is fully software defined. It is very flexible. It is very agile. So you change your mind. You want to change the way you do your IT. Veeam flexes along with it and helps you provide those to bend along with your strategy, right? And when you do backup and recovery, it's very important to maintain your governance and compliance for your backup and recovery, right? Is my data secure? Is my compliance requirements being met? Am I protected from things like ransomware? How does my audit report looks? Am I meeting my backup SLAs? So all those things are driven by our governance and compliance portfolio of the products. So that's taking care of that. And if we talk about disaster recovery, your orchestration and automation is a very important thing. So Veeam's got built-in intelligent recovery orchestration. We can define failover, failback plans. So when a disaster happens, most of us are in a really, really haphazard state of mind, right? Things are going haywire. All you want to do is you want to get your DR up and running. So Veeam helps you with that. We give you we help you prepare your disaster recovery plans. We help you do disaster recovery drills. We help you document them. And when things go wrong, all you have to do is just push one button and we start booting up your DR site and bring it back to production in minutes, right? At the same time, you can reuse your data for DevOps, for app development. And that is what you need in today's world of digital transformation. You need to test new apps. You need to take them to market really quick. And Veeam helps you do that by reusing your existing backup data by something called as data labs, one of the features. Now, when you're running such a big operation, you have energy companies and oil and gas companies and all the verticals we have in today are not smaller companies. They are normally like big enterprises, right? So when you have got your product portfolio spread over the place, you have machines running on-prem, you have machines running on virtual, you have machines running on physical, in cloud, in Kubernetes. You want something which can monitor your environment, which can tell you before things go wrong. It'll help you that, oh, hold on, something could be going wrong over there. Why don't you go and fix that? Oh, I do see that you're not running your virtualization to the best practices, right? So those kind of monitoring and analytics really help him. And now we've gone a step further in our last release, in our current release, we have added a lot of automation. So certain things which can be automated by machine, there's automatic issue remediation. So you give it a command, if you find this kind of problem, just go and fix it by myself, don't come to me. Or come to me, take an approval and fix it. So a lot of automation going in there. And cloud mobility, like we were talking today about HCI, about Azure Stack, about software as a service, platform as a service, all of those different kind of workloads, your private cloud on premises. Now, you've got your infrastructure all over the place. You want to have the flexibility that I should be able to back up anything, probably bring it on premises. I should be able to restore my on-premises workloads into the cloud if needed. So that's what Veeam also helps you with. We have got our tools for cloud native workloads. We've got our tools for mobility of data, how we can move data from cloud to on-prem and vice versa and all those things. So with this whole picture, we complete the cloud data management for you, okay? And how do we do it? With our set of products, which I'm gonna explain in this slide called Veeam Availability Platform. Right, so Veeam Availability Platform is the core, with help of which we help you protect your on-prem, your software as a service, things like Office 365, your private clouds, your public clouds like Azure, AWS, and your cloud service providers like Oman Data Park. So how we actually cater to all of that and what are the suite of products that we have. So Veeam Availability Suite is our heart or the core product, our bread and butter for the Veeam. It is the main console. Which this product has been initially designed for virtualization. And again, with this slide, I want to change the perception because a lot of time people just perceive that Veeam is for virtual. Well, yes, that's how we started, but we changed that a long time back. We started on a mission to cover anything and everything in 2014, and we are now very successful with a mission to cover pretty much anything and everything you have. And this slide, I'm going to show you how. So Veeam Availability Suite, which covers two products, backup and replication, the name's quite obvious, and Veeam One, which does your monitoring and analytics and all that stuff. Now, this product is for virtualization, mainly this particular product, and it's the center brain of everything. And this protects your VMware, your Hyper-V, your Nutanix HV. It's got your plugins for your enterprise database and applications like Oracle RMAN, SAP HANA, NAS file shares, and all that stuff. So that's licensed there in one product. Then in 2014, we launched our first physical server product called Veeam Agents for Windows, and then soon after that is Linux. So this covers your pretty much 95 to 99% of your x86 physical server workloads. These products are very mature now. All the Veeam customers who started off with virtualization started embracing that, and it's huge adoption, very successful, very strong, very robust, easy to use product, completely built as per the Veeam DNA, helps you protect your physical servers, right? The x86 is pretty much covered with that. Also, this product protects your workstations, laptops, PCs. Now we started working remotely, so it's very important to protect our remote workforce as well. So we added support for Mac, Windows PCs, Linux PCs, any of that stuff is covered by that. So this again comes and integrates into your availability suite. We had to actually take a few steps backwards to assist some of our big customers who were still running legacy solutions like AX and Solaris, or the older systems. I won't really call them legacy; they're still very powerful. So Veeam introduced agents for AIX and Solaris, working very good. Got integration on Oracle and all that stuff. Does your file level backup, helps you with migration and things like that. So works like a charm. And moving forward into the futuristic stuff into cloud. So we launched our Veeam backup for AWS version 3, a cloud native platform which sits in AWS, takes your snapshots in AWS, moves your data to elastic band storage of AWS and then to S3, and then also helps you bring a copy on-prem. So you can bring your AWS machines on-prem and you can restore it on VMware as well, or Hyper-V as well if you want to. So that's the flexibility which we give you for AWS. And very similar capabilities we have for Veeam Backup for Azure. Again, a cloud native product, talks to Azure snapshots, extracts the data out of Azure, takes it to Azure Blob, wherever you want, help you bring data on-prem, and vice versa. You can actually restore your VMware virtual machine onto Azure. You can restore your Hyper-V virtual machine into Azure or AWS. So it helps you with that complete data mobility. So cloud native backup for AWS Azure. And in our version 11, in our last release, we also launched backup for Google Cloud Platform. So this is the latest feather in the crown, and they're doing really well. And this was launched, a lot of customers were asking for it. So in customer demand, we actually came up with this to complete our portfolio that covers us for the major cloud providers, public cloud providers. Now, all of that has been beautifully packaged into one license, or we call it as a Veeam Universal License. Now, when we started off licensing our product on CPU socket base, because that went well with the virtualization, right? But in today's world where your data is all over the place, you have machines sitting in AWS, machines sitting in Azure, machines sitting in physical, virtual, whatever it is. So one license, one instant, it covers everything for you. Whether it's a VM, whether it's a physical server, whether it's a cloud machine, all you need is an instance to protect. So in total, you might have 50 VMs, you might have 10 physical servers, you might have 30 cloud workloads, 90 instances is all you need and covers for you that. Then we have a Veeam Disaster Recovery Orchestrator. So that's an add-on layer. It's a VMware only product on top of Veeam Availability Suite. It helps you and it enhances your DR scenarios. It documents your DR plans. It dynamically changes your DR plan as and when you change your DR strategy. It does automatic drills for your DR. So it brings in a lot of automation when you want to do disaster recovery. And in our version 11, we launched continuous data protection. That means an RPO of seconds for your VMware virtual machines if you want to take it to DR side. So that really is a game changer for us. For your mission critical applications, now you can go a recovery point objective of like seconds, 10 seconds or 2 seconds, something like that. Now, one of the biggest things is Veeam Backup for Office 365. Now, this product has grown significantly in last 1 year. For us, for Microsoft, for everyone, the dependence because of pandemic, the dependence on Microsoft Teams has gone up like anything. So this was a big push as we were talking about the digital transformation. This was for a lot of customers their first step into the cloud. So this helps us protect. This product is our fastest growing product. I have great sales going on for this, a lot of interaction. Pretty much everyone in the room is already having Office 365 or is thinking of moving to Office 365, right? Now, when you move to Office 365, most of us assume that, okay, now it is Microsoft's problem. I'm given my emails, my SharePoint, my OneDrive, my Teams for Microsoft to manage. Yes. Microsoft gives you the SLA to keep your services up and running. Microsoft gives you an uptime of the application, but the data sitting in there and the access control is your problem. And that's clearly stated on Microsoft websites. So you're responsible for your backups of your data for third-party applications. Microsoft doesn't back up your data. They do geo-redundancy for availability. They move data to archive, but they do not back it up for you, right? So you need to have a third-party backup. And we give you that complete flexibility that you can actually bring your Office 365 data on premises. You can take it to Azure Blob, you can take it to AWS, and most important, you can take it to ODP. ODP is offering this backup as a service for Office 365, where you just give the whole thing for ODP to manage. So your production's running in Microsoft Cloud, wherever it might be, and your backups are being still brought in country to Oman Data Park's data center. So they're giving you the whole thing as a service, right? So it's a very, very important point. If you want to know more, please reach out to me after the session. I'll be happy to discuss this with you. And Custom K10 is the latest jewel on the crown. This is our product and acquisition which we made for backup of containers and Kubernetes. This product is by far the leader globally when it comes to Kubernetes backup. And I'm getting so much traction with this product right now in my territories. I'm talking to some of the big enterprises, some big companies, telcos, banks who are really interested in custom in protecting their containerized workloads. I see this as the next shift in the data center industry. Even with ODP, we are working with some of the big projects for custom already. So very, very cool product. Must have a look at if you're looking at Kubernetes, whether it's Red Hat OpenShift, whether it's VMware Tanzu, whether it's Kubernetes open source. Custom is a product for you to your data protection and disaster recovery for your Kubernetes environment, right? So with that, just wanted to let you know that how Veeam helps you drive real results. You should be freeing yourself from maintaining fragmented legacy systems for data protection, backup, and recovery. When we did a survey, 74% of our customers found increased staff productivity after deploying Veeam. Their admins had more time to do some things which are more important and not just bang their head around backups, right? Mitigate risk and reduce IT costs through intelligent automation. 77% of Veeam customers saw reduced risk of data loss and reduction in downtime. So that's how massively we impacted their existing operations, and that's how positively impacted their lives were after embracing Veeam. Release trap data, drive flexibility across platform. 68% of Veeam customers receive significant cost savings by reusing data, by doing DevOps, by using things like Show Backup, by using things like data labs. They were able to utilize their existing data investments and get their product to better use. Provide seamless data security, protecting your data and customers and brand. 45% of our customers experience reduced risk in audit and compliance failures, with all the reports, audits, and governance, and all those features which are built in. So on that note, I'm pretty much done with my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. It was very brief, but I'm happy to have further discussions with you to take it further. Open to Q&A. Off to you, Melvin.
Thank you, Ankit. So far, I think everyone's just listening to you carefully, or your presentation was apt with all the answers. So I think our attendees can visit your booth directly and ask you and your colleagues more questions and answers, right?
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ankit. Have a nice afternoon ahead. Bye.